And it is finally Championship Thursday on the women's side of things. Jazz Tavares, Natalie Kelly, Tick Price. We got McNeese and Stephen F. Austin on the women's side. We also had it on the men's side. McNeese on the men's side. They punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Now McNeese and SFA get to go once again and see who can punch their ticket on the women's side of things. As you can tell from my voice, it's been a long couple of days here at the tournament where we've had some great basketball.
Well, you've been a real soldier, though. I mean, you've hung in there. You've done a remarkable job. But I'm looking forward to this rematch.
Yep, I'm with you.
I think this is one that –
Natalie already giving you that look.
Oh, why did she have to act like that?
I actually agreed. I just agreed. I left it alone. I said I was going to be very good today.
Well, the job is not done until the trophy is lifted. So, irregardless, they got to leave it on the line for the next 40 minutes.
I think, once again, that this matchup is going to go down on toughness. We've talked about it, the fatigue, everything's setting in. But these are two teams that have had hard-fought battles against each other, expecting the same thing here today.
We're going to have everything for you today, just as we have all week long. We're going to have you here in the pregame. We're going to have halftime, and we're going to have postgame. We're going to take a quick break. They're going to do the honoring of our national anthem, all of that stuff. We'll be back here with more pregame. McNeese and Stephen F. Austin on the women's side. We're getting you ready for it right here at the Southland Conference Tournament. Back here at the Southland Conference Tournament, just about 6 minutes away from tip-off of the Women's Championship. We've got McNeese and Stephen F. Austin. We've already talked about it. Great week of basketball. This matchup should be a lot of fun. We already kind of alluded to it. A little bit of a rematch as the McNeese Lions, I guess it is, as you've been running around talking about. The McNeese Lions take on Stephen F. Austin in a rematch of last year's matchup. This one, again, a lot of fun, a lot of star power all over the floor.
I think this matchup could be, once again, ended off incredible, as already these games have already been. This matchup, in some sense, is a little bit personal. In one ways, we saw the last matchup and how that ended out for McNeese. Now, once again, SFA wanted to look and try and take care of business once again.
I call it the rematch of three different universities. When you talk about Southeastern, Stephen F. Austin, and McNeese. Same kids, just different schools,
Different
same
colors.
coaches. It's going to be very interesting, though. I don't know. I just don't think the job is done until you finish it.
Yep.
And I think these players going to be very much aware of the level of competition they got to play. They have to play with. I think that Stephen F. Austin caught Southeastern off guard last year. Kind of caught everybody off guard, including. Well, anyway, this should be a very good test, and there's going to be a lot of physical play. In my opinion, I think that McNeese is going to have to play north to south, and to beat that pressure, back cuts, transition. I think about last year, and I'm thinking about this year, what it would take to win this basketball game. But I think Coach Ayla is real focused. I saw her early this morning, and she's locked in, and I think our players will be too.
Can I just say I haven't caught a break all week. I've been trying to deal with these two. It's just been too much. It's been too much. But I do have to agree with you, Coach. I believe that this matchup is really going to focus on transition as well as the boards. This is another big thing for both of these teams. I feel like whoever can take care of the basketball, push the ball in transition, has a real good ending to this contest.
Look, Ashlyn Traylor Walker ended up showing up a little bit in that second half, much better than her first half. Really, her first 6 quarters in this tournament, she was able to show up yesterday. How does the fatigue part of this play a factor for Southeastern? They played already 2 games in this tournament. How does that play a factor for them?
I feel as though what you saw from McNeese's men's last night doesn't even bring up fatigue in this matchup. That was a team that played a triple overtime game, and yet they came out with a lot of energy and fire. I expect these two teams to have that same kind of energy and effort. You're playing for a championship now. Everything's on the line.
I don't know. I think this is going to be a home of heartbreak or home for confetti. There's going to be 2 choices here. The confetti looks a whole lot better. The feeling is a whole lot better. But you got to be able to push through that proverbial wall when you get tired.
All right, we got about 2 minutes. What's it going to take for one of these teams to cut down some nets and punch their ticket to March Madness?
Once again, I feel like you're going to need balanced scoring for McNeese. You're going to need Jalencia Pierre to push the ball in transition. She's your leader. She's the one that gets things going when you're talking about that transition play. But you also need that McNeese stifling defense to show up. It needs to pressure a lot of SFA's guard play in the contest. For SFA, I feel like you need to take care of the basketball and win the rebounding battle.
I agree with you. I think defensively, SFA has got to be a team that got to make that defensive presence there. But I think the McNeese need to continue to push that ball. I totally agree with you for McNeese to have some success, and they got to play by committee today.
My 2 players that are probably the biggest 2 for each team is Dominguez and Perry for Stephen F. Austin, and for McNeese, it has to be Ariana Patton. In this last matchup, she was able to hit 10 triples. Is she able to come out? She only took 2 shots in the matchup yesterday. How does she come out here today? Obviously, we know she's not going to stop firing, but also Dakota Howard. Dakota Howard has been in foul trouble in some of these big games with a big matchup against Ashlyn Traylor Walker. How does she match up with her, and how does she stay out of foul trouble? I think that's going to be one of the biggest questions today. All right, traditional broadcast over on ESPNU. Can Coach Leonard Bishop and company cut down the nets for the second year in a row? Or Coach Ayla Gazzardo, can she get to the mountaintop, do something she wasn't able to do a year ago? We'll find out. Traditional broadcast over on ESPNU. We will have you here at halftime and at postgame. We'll see you at the half. halftime here at the Women's Championship games of the Southland Conference. And 34-33, Stephen F. Austin with a 1-point lead right now here at the break. And right now it is total domination on the boards for Stephen F. Austin.
They are absolutely killing on the boards right now, and it's helping them to gain a lot of extra opportunities. They are doing a great job of being aggressive and going after those offensive rebounds.
Though they're killing it on the boards right now, McNeese has the advantage right now. Points in the paint, 18-14.
McNeese is doing a great job of getting to the rim, but in transition.
Yep.
They've done a great job in transition, and yet there's still a lot of bunnies that they're just leaving out there, just going on long spurts where they just can't finish.
That really feels like that's the biggest part of this game is the boards, is the glass right now, because you look at it, every other statistical category, McNeese has really done a great job. I mean, look, they've turned, you know, we talked in yesterday's game in Rio Grande Valley how Rio Grande Valley did a really good job of not turning the basketball over too much. They had 8 turnovers there in the first half. They had 8 turnovers in the second half. It's already 16 turnovers here in the first half for Stephen F. Austin. They were able to build a little bit of a lead, go on a nice 8-0 run to get it up to about a 5-point lead for Stephen F. Austin. And McNeese finishes the half on a 10-4 run that really was able to give them a little momentum. And Stephen F. Austin ends up getting a late bucket, and they have the 1-point lead here at the break. The one girl we said would have to be big, we talked about it, she had to stay out of trouble. Foul trouble was going to be Dakota Howard. She's been kind of a force for McNeese since the start of this one.
She's been their driving factor. She's done a great job of being aggressive. The first couple possessions of the ball game, who did they give the ball to? Dakota Howard, and she was able to finish. But we also, another player that we highlighted for McNeese that had to step up in this contest was Jalencia Pierre. And we're starting to see some production from her. I believe 7 points in this contest so far. But she's got to continue to step up. She's got to knife through SFA's defense and then be able to either dump it down to their bigs or kick it out to her shooters.
I really like to see McNeese get more buckets in transition. Jalencia, like you said, she is a blur. She needs to use her speed and quickness to try to get a few easy buckets for her team.
Tell you what, the big defensive player, obviously, Jalencia Pierre, we talk about her. She is the defensive player of the year. Right now, you know, we mentioned those 16 turnovers for Stephen F. Austin. 7 steals for Dakota Howard right now. That is massive.
She's done a great job of helping out Lexi Alexander on the double team down in the post. They've done a great job of closing it up, and as well as McNeese's guards doing a great job of also being in the gaps so there's no outlet pass. They've got a couple of steals off of that, but also forced SFA into a few turnovers just on that one thing alone.
Both of these teams pretty much shooting it about the same. For Stephen F. Austin, it's 12 for 26, 46% from the field, 14 for 31, 45% from the floor for McNeese. 5 triples so far for Stephen F. Austin, just 1 so far for McNeese. I mentioned that was going to be, I felt like a key for McNeese to be able to get Ariana Patton now. She's made a couple of buckets, nothing from behind the arc so far. When you look at Stephen F. Austin, obviously it's pretty balanced right now. We talked about it not being so balanced yesterday. It is balanced today. Dominguez, she's got 10. Ashlyn Traylor-Walker, she's got 5. Ferrier's got 4. Perry's got 6. Roseby off the bench has got 7 on 3 of 5 shooting. It's been complete balance so far for Stephen F. Austin there in the scoring column.
And I know that's something Coach Bishop is excited to see. He talked about just his key players needing to step up. I know he is happy to see Dominguez stepping up from the three-point line. We talked about that would be a key for SFA. If they can be aggressive and yet kick it out to a shooter like Dominguez, it makes McNeese, puts a lot of pressure on McNeese's defense.
Yeah, but I like that kid Dakota Howard. She's special to me. I'm watching her more and more. I watched her the last couple of days. I am really impressed with her ability to potentially get a double-double night in and night out. But I watched SFA and shoot-around this morning, and one of the keys that Coach Bishop mentioned was we've got to do a better job in the paint area. He felt like that they could control the paint, get a few easy bunnies in the paint, and I think his message is going through, but this next 20 minutes is crucial. What team will be willing to grasp the jaws of defeat and make it into victory? Because it's going to be back and forth. I think it'll be a close game going there. going down the stretch.
I believe when SFA switched to that zone, it caused a lot of problems.
You're exactly
for
right.
McNeese. They weren't able to get in the paint as much, and when they were, they became a little bit indecisive. They didn't know whether to go up for the shot or kick it out to a shooter. So that's something they had to clean up. But that was a great adjustment by SFA.
Yeah, it was.
For McNeese, that's a good job by Coach Bishop, because for McNeese, that zone's kind of been a bugaboo for them all year long.
And that's something that's kind of been always kind of the problem with Coach Aylen when it comes to that zone. Just their teams are so aggressive, so they're so used to getting to the rim because that truly is their success. That's their bread and butter. But just having to make some halftime adjustments to get better at it in the second half.
SFA got into that zone, though, because that's all part of scouting. You find a weakness, and then you try to exploit it.
You talk about Dakota Howard, how much you really like her. Just listen to her stat line here real quick. 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. She's picked up a couple of rebounds, already a pair of fouls, 12 points. But not only those 7 steals, but also 3 assists as well. She's been really involved in a lot of different ways for McNeese. I feel like she's been their biggest player, best player so far.
She's going to have to be. Just a freshman, and yet the impact that she has on this team is incredible. Once again, it shows why she is Freshman of the Year. She's a really great driving force for this McNeese team.
This next 20 minutes, I keep saying 20 minutes because it's coming down to that. This is
you telling me you don't want 30 minutes?
Well, I do,
minutes?
but I don't think the players do. But it's coming down now to the moment of truth.
All right, let's completely take some look at some of the numbers right now for scoring for Stephen F. Austin. We mentioned it, pretty balanced. Dominguez leads everybody with 10. You've got a couple with 7, 6, 5, 4. For McNeese, it's Dakota Howard. She's got 12 points. Jalencia Pierre, she's 3 of 5 from the field. When you can get something scoring from Jalencia Pierre, and you can get something offensively, that goes a long way for Coach Gazzardo and company.
And that's huge to see the confidence early in that contest from Jalencia Pierre. Like we mentioned, her quickness, she has to utilize that, especially when getting in the paint.
On the boards, what has been the biggest difference so far? Obviously, they're tripling up McNeese right now. What's been the biggest difference that Stephen F. Austin's been able to do?
They just have a bit of a height advantage and a size advantage. We talked about it. McNeese is a little bit smaller this season. SFA is doing a great job of capitalizing on that, being aggressive. McNeese just has to box out. They have to put a body on their opponent. Because right now, SFA has been able to capitalize it and give a lot of credit to Key Roseby. She's done a great job in the paint getting those offensive rebounds.
I like that idea, but they've got to win. McNeese got to win the war on the boards, but I'd like to see a couple rim runs to kind of loosen up that interior of SFA. If they can score in transition, the bigs can score in transition, I do think it'll help. But if you can't rebound, you can't win, and that's really the bottom line right now.
You look in the 2 other games. Obviously, the first one early on in the year, it was McNeese with 31 rebounds, Stephen F. Austin with 31. So pretty even in the first matchup. In the second matchup here in Lake Charles, it was 25 rebounds to 20. So look, Stephen F. Austin has nearly gotten their total for both of those games already here in the first half. That's something that Coach Gazzardo, that is going to be the first thing she points out in that halftime locker room.
That is definitely going to be the emphasis, and that's one adjustment that they're going to have to make. They're going to need to bring a lot more bodies to get to those rebounds. A bit of your guards just kind of ball watching out, not really helping out the bigs who are looking to box out. But that's going to be crucial going into the second half.
It is fascinating to see the difference. Just McNeese, I mean, look, the first game, McNeese actually out rebounded Stephen F. Austin, and to see what it is right now, Stephen F. Austin, that is the game right now, and why it's where it is. You look at it, we've talked about what the categories look like, where McNeese has pretty much dominated everything else outside of the glass. I think that's been the biggest thing. All right, we got a couple of minutes. What's it going to take for one of these teams to cut down the nets here in the second half? What changes need to happen, and who's going to need to step up?
For SFA, you already have 16 turnovers in this contest. You have to take care of the basketball. Give all credit to McNeese's stifling defense. They are always going to be tenacious, but you can't rush. You have to continue to take care of the basketball, get good looks up the court. But for McNeese, you've got to box out. Already, SFA, like you mentioned, dominating on the rebounding battle. That's going to be big.
I think with McNeese, their defense has got to be an immovable force. I think with SFA, they have got to continue to push, pound the glass, and make McNeese make a decision. How bad do you want it? And if they end up winning, we'll find that answer out. They want it real bad.
We got 20 minutes to decide this one, maybe more.
Yeah.
All right, Stephen F. Austin with the 1.34-33 lead here at the break. We will have all of your post-game coverage, championship celebrations, net cutting, all of the post-game pressers, all of that stuff. We'll visit with successful coaches, players, all of that stuff. We'll do that coming up at the end of this one here today. It's a 1-point advantage for Stephen F. Austin here at the break. ESPNU, they've got all the action over on ESPNU. McNeese and Stephen F. Austin, we got a 1-point game. We'll see you at the end of it.
Hurts. It hurts. It hurts for my staff. It hurts for my team. Hurts for this community that's been behind us since we stepped foot here on campus. 28-5, I think is our record. It's 5 losses. I know everybody talks about this one, but we've had 5 losses this year. 2 of those 5 losses, I think we got outplayed, and one of them was today. Unfortunately for us, with a mid-major conference, you have to win the tournament to go to the NCAA tournament. I'd love to see it change one day, but it just is what it is. Moment might have been a little bit too big. Shots didn't fall. Our defense wasn't where it needed to be from the start of the game. So, I mean, credit goes to SFA. I don't give it often, but the credit goes to them. They showed up in the big moment. We won the regular season. We did the work early, but you got to continue to do the work consistently.
Questions? Coach, whenever you got something going offensively, it seemed like SFA would respond each time. I mean, how difficult was it to capture any type of momentum? It
kills your momentum. Every time we come down, we finally get a good steal, an easy layup, and they come down and hit a 3. It's like, it hurts. And we look at some of our seniors, some of our leaders to kind of step up and be like, we're fine. But, it hurts. It hurts you as a player. It hurts you as a coach. So you're trying to just keep battling. But, I mean, we knew they could shoot the 3. We knew, but we gave up way too many extra possessions offensively for them. We didn't box out the way we needed to. Too many offensive rebounds. And I think in the first half, there were so many loose balls on the ground that we just, uncharacteristic of us, get them. We get those loose balls. We throw our body on them. And we just weren't really playing like it was a championship game. We were playing like it was a regular season game, and we're going to play it again in a few days. But, it's momentum killer.
Coach, your thoughts? It's unusual in a game that, you force 24 turnovers and you take care of the ball, only have 8 in a game like this. It rarely happens when you lose a ball game.
Yeah.
Anything else with that kind of stuff?
Yeah, then you look at our shooting percentages, 39, 25, and 62 from the free throw line. We did what we needed to do. We forced some turnovers. We took care of the ball. I think they did a good job early on getting us out of rhythm, going man-to-man into the zone. But, that's what we do. We force a lot of turnovers, and we normally take care of the ball. So I'm really not upset with us not really taking care of the ball. I thought our shot selection was decent. We missed a lot. I know he's going to get me back there. Layups. We missed a lot. But if you watch us through the year, we miss layups. It just is what it is, and you got to be able to focus on the finish. So it's not surprising. It's unfortunate that it happened right now.
Considering the way, wrapped up the regular season, a dominant performance over SFA, do you think that was obviously something that was extremely present on their mind, where they were like, we want to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. SFA is a dynasty team. They've been in the big moments the whole time that they've been around, right? They're used to the NCAA tournament. They're used to championship games. We're trying to build those dynasties, but we still have to focus on us. That last game, it sucks that we had to play them the last game before the tournament, and it sucks that we played so well and they played, poorly. But ultimately for us, if we would have followed the game plan that was given to us, we should have been able to execute the same exact way. We gave up way too many points. 71 points, it's way out of reach for us.
For you personally, your frustration level has to be pretty high for the second straight year. Missing that.
Yep.
Missing that bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it. I'm getting there. I'm there. I'm in the semifinals. I'm in the championships. I'm championship, semifinals. I'm there. I want it all, though. It gets to the point where I know everybody's excited about the regular season. I don't care about the regular season. I want to win. I want to get in the NCAA tournament, and not just for me, because my staff deserves it. My players deserve it. They deserve what it feels like, because we've been there before. We've we've tasted it. It's very disappointing. I think I got out of character a little bit during the game. I called a timeout and said some things that, were a little hot, but then I had to calm down and realize that they don't respond well to me like that. If the game's fast-paced and all over the place, I've got to be calm for them. And I don't think I got calm enough soon enough.
to follow that up? I know it's still fresh and very soon thereafter, but is that the one thing that creeps in your mind? As I know we've talked about this before, looking yourself in the mirror to see what you could have done better in these kind of big games. Anything else comes to mind strategically, maybe X's and O's?
We got a lot of looks offensively. We had looks. You know, I think we rushed a few shots. I think playing in transition, you know, we didn't really take advantage of it enough. But for us offensively, X's and O's, I think we did fine. Defensively, I think we struggled. You know, we lost our matchups at times. We didn't really know what we were doing. Defensively, we had some plays that we knew they were going to run, and we didn't execute it the right way. You know, and then once we struggle on the defensive end, we struggle on the offensive end. And once we struggle on the offensive end, we struggle on the defense, so we can't let that spiral. But for me, I've got to do a great job and a better job of preparing them for these big moments, whether it's getting in tournaments and we're playing in tournament-style big moments, something I've got to do to prepare them for big moments and prepare me for big moments, my staff for big moments. But I am proud of this team for getting here to this big moment. I don't take that away because I know we lost this game and it sucks, but we're 28-5. You know, we're a regular season championship. We had a successful year and we still have more basketball to play.
All year long, the two things were rebounding and the missed layups. They came back to haunt you today. Did they take more advantage of situations than they did last time? Was that it?
Hands down. Hands down. They crashed a lot harder. And I don't think we were tough under the basket. We didn't really push back. We didn't, you know, make contact first. And I was calling for some over-the-back calls. It is what it is. This crew is going to give me what they give me. But for the ultimate part, you know, we've got to be able to finish down low. And we had opportunities.
Coach, what you can say about your seniors and that you've been with for a good bit of your career and everything, that they really put in the work, and especially the success that y'all work together with?
That's why it hurts. It hurts for them. It hurts for them because they're not going to get another opportunity to try to, you know, do what they want to do and do what they love to do. They have given us everything. When I was at Southeastern, they gave us everything. They trusted in this process and followed us here. Do I think we would have had the same results we were there? Yeah, because who they are. They're prepared, you know, to battle every single day, and they give us everything that we can ask for. So super proud of them, upset for them. But, you know, they have left a great legacy here, and they're going to hopefully continue to do that.
Any further questions? We'll wrap up there, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Here in Lake Charles, here inside of the Townsley Law Arena, as we have wrapped it up, Stephen F. Austin, they have punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament, the second season in a row. Southland Conference champions for Coach Leonard Bishop and company. They get the win, 71-59. And look, this was a really good game. We just talked about it off air here. Stephen F. Austin offensively shot the absolute mess out of it between that, and they absolutely dominated McNeese on the glass. Those are the two biggest keys in this game.
We talked about it. SFA shooters needed to knock down shots, and they did. They stepped up in crunch time exactly when they needed to. You got great production from Dominguez from the three-point line, as well as some others. Ashlyn Traylor Walker. I just remember Ariana Patton knocked down a three. Thought you could see some momentum building for McNeese, and immediately on the next offensive possession, Ashlyn Traylor Walker responded, knocked down a three, a dagger.
That felt like one of the biggest buckets we've seen in this whole week of basketball here at the tournament. Is Ariana Patton hits that three, and then Walker comes down and just buries one. That got into a 5-point game when Patton hit that three. A lot of momentum, felt like it was starting to switch, and then Walker just hit the dagger. You said it, just a gigantic three in that moment.
Yeah, but give all the credit, a lot of credit to McNeese in this contest. They did a great job, just unable to close it out.
All right, getting ready to be. Yep, go ahead. All right, Stephen F. Austin, they get the win 71-59. How does this one feel?
Oh, it feels amazing, especially to go back to back.
I mean, look, you're going back to the NCAA tournament. I know it was great last year. Now you got a little unfinished business this year, I would imagine.
Yes, for sure. We're definitely going to go out and play like we know how to play.
What was it like for you guys? You you shoot 50% in the first quarter. You shoot 43% in the second quarter, 50% in the third quarter. That was one of the best offensive performances I think we've seen here at the tournament.
Yeah, honestly, I knew that we were going to be on it whenever our team were saying Bible verses in the locker room before we came out. So if God is for us, who can be against us?
That's true. I just want to give all the credit to you. Missed a lot of the regular season due to injury. Just speak on the adversity, stepping in, and then when you come back, finally back into the season, you're shooting over 50% from the field. Just continue to speak on your confidence.
Honestly, it's all the Lord. Like, I can't take any credit for anything. Like, He gives me my strength, my confidence, my power, my love, everything. So all credit to Him.
You've been a big part of this season for Stephen F. Austin. She just talked about it. You missed a lot of this season to come back and help your team the way you did. What has this season been like for you?
Honestly, it's been hard. Like, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to come back at all this season. So I'm just very grateful to be here and to be with this team, you know. We're all so very connected. We all love each other, and that's very rare to have on a team. So I'm just very grateful.
Talk to us a little bit about Coach Leonard Bishop. He's a fiery son of a gun. Talk to us a little bit about Coach Bishop.
Fiery is an understatement. He always says that my fire and passion, like, as long as you don't burn the building down, that's fine. And I think it goes the same way with him. As long as he's not burning down the building, it's okay. But honestly, like, his energy and his fire transfers over to us, and that's why we play so hard.
First, I want to say congratulations. You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
What kind of adjustments did you make at halftime to get ready for the second half of this game?
Well, really, our adjustments came from the start of the game. Like, last game, we run a 2-2-1. In this game, we started out in man, and then we went back to zone, and then we went back to man just to get them out of their flow, and I think that really helped us.
Yeah, that was good. When you can disrupt the rhythm of another team, that really helps you on the defensive end. But I want to say I was impressed with you. You did a really good job, and I hope you guys much luck and success in the NCAA tournament.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Talk to us before you get out of here about this crowd. There was a pretty good crowd here for Stephen F. Austin. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Our fans love us. Like, it's not even just because it's the championship. You know, they come whenever they can, and we love their support and their energy.
Do you want to get a little revenge after the men fell last night?
Oh, well, of course, but but honestly, like, it was really about us today. Like, we feel for the men for sure, but today was just about us.
There it is. Congratulations. Good luck in the NCAA tournament.
I appreciate it.
That is it. That is Ashley Traylor Walker joining us, and again, we talked about it. Just her year. You know, Coach Bishop talked to us about it the other day. Didn't know how her season was going to look. She said she didn't know if she would play at all, and she showed up, and she showed out here in the back half of the season.
Truly, we talked about it, just the challenge of needing her to step up, and she did right in the right moment.
I got you. You good?
All right, next up we got Harmony Dominguez. Going back to the NCAA tournament, Harmony. How does that feel?
It feels really good, you know.
There
It feels
you go.
really good. Obviously, being my senior year, but also for these young girls to get some experience playing, you know, big teams. I mean, it feels really, really good.
Back to back, you get obviously we've talked about it a lot. Coach Bishop talked with us about it. You're kind of facing the same team, the McNeese Lions per se. How much did you guys want to get this one to go back?
We wanted to get it really bad, and I say that more so because, you know, coming off a 20-point loss to them here at this court. You know, it doesn't feel good. We were defeated in that locker room, but we weren't defeated. Like, Bishop came in there, we believed. You know, leading up to it, it's more about how much we want it and who's going to believe that we're going to do this. And everybody believed, and that we came out with the dub.
Ashley just told us, we asked her about Coach, and she said fiery was an understatement. Talk to us a little bit about Coach Bishop.
Man, he is a fiery man. He has so much passion for this game. It's so good to have a coach that cares. And people might see him jumping and stuff, but we see it as passion. We see it as he wants this. This is how he puts food on the table for his family. So for us, it's the same thing. He cares for us like we're his daughters. So, we got to treat it like that. And he gives that passion, and he gives us that energy.
You hit a big three there in the end of this one, and you showed a little emotion at the end. Coach and I were sitting right there courtside to see that. How big was that?
Man, it was big. Last year I also hit the same. I hit a big three where I double crossed and hit one, and I had a little bit of a oomph on me. So, it feels really good to hit in those really big moments. I think yesterday when we were playing Lamar, my shots weren't falling, and obviously it wasn't deflating, but to come back and really want to get it, Coach always has belief in me, and he doesn't care where I pull from. He always believes in me, so it's really good to get those off.
I think one of the things that's not talked about enough, and we talk about it all throughout every single year of the tournament, is trying to win a couple of games in a couple of days. You guys just went 3 games in 3 days.
Yes.
How tough is that?
It is really, really tough, but we have a great recovery team where, our athletic trainer is making sure that we're getting all of our work in. Our strength coach is making sure we're getting our stretching and our rolling. And, after the Lamar game yesterday, we immediately went to stretching, and then we get to, come out and talk to our family. So they're really good at taking care of us, getting us to get food and refuel, and it's just really good for our bodies. So.
And you talked about the fieriness of Coach Bishop. I believe on one play, I literally almost saw him with a 40-inch vertical. That's just how much he gives to the game. But Ashley Taylor Walker spoke on it as well, just how close you guys are, the team chemistry.
Yes.
How do you feel like that carried y'all through the tournament and ultimately getting this win?
Just trust and love for each other. I can make a one more to Key, and I have the belief that she's going to hit it. I could turn around before she even lets it fly. So, that goes for anybody on this court, to have the love for somebody, to know that, we're going to carry each other through adversity. Nobody put their head down, because everybody knew that if our heads were up, we were going to get through something.
There's an old saying, anytime you win a game, you got to make some shots.
Yes.
I looked at your stat line. You like 6 for 8. I want to say 5 for 7 from three-point land, or vice versa. So you made your shots.
I did.
But you were on fire, girl. Got some water on you. That's a good job.
Thank
you did. You spend a lot of time working on your jump shot.
I do. I'm in the gym very, very consistently. Growing up, my dad didn't let me leave a gym without shooting at least 300 shots. So he, Coach Bishop also sees me in there. He lets me, we use the gun and we work out together. So.
Mm-hmm. But can you play defense?
Man, you saw me out there. You see
I saw you.
You saw me take that charge.
I saw you.
You saw me take that charge.
There it is. Well, hey, look, congratulations. Best of luck in the NCAA tournament.
Thank
Enjoy
you so
this.
Much. Thank you guys so much.
Congratulations.
There it is. That is Harmony Dominguez joining us again. Coach said it. She had a pretty good day. She could play a little defense, too. She gets 18 points. Now we're getting ready to get the man of the hour. Coach Leonard Bishop, look, he was so fired up after the game. He sprinted on over to the table, and he was ready to go to get his post-game interview in. I'm gonna start right there before we even get into it. Coach, you were so excited after the game just to come see us.
Well, somebody pulled me to the side. I was ready to hug my wife and kiss all my kids, and someone was like, "You got to go do the interview," and I was like, "Right now?" And so
I stopped you. I said, "Hey, look, you go celebrate."
I
Coach.
do like you guys. Again, I told you hopefully I'd be back, and here we are. So
you've said that. We just talked about 3 games in 3 days, and every single one of them you said, "Hey, look, hopefully I'll be back tomorrow." It's not maybe, it's a hopefully we'll be back. Coach, back-to-back champions. How does this feel initially?
Unreal. Again, we went through a lot of trials and tribulations with this team. We talked about the injuries the other day. Again, I went through some stuff personally, but, you put all that to the side when you're trying to win a championship, and I'm extremely proud of this group. Again, we got young kids playing, and we mismatched a group together in the offseason, and they just believed in the vision that I told them day in and day out. I told them yesterday we were going to have to walk through a fire. We did that, and I told them, hey, you're going to have to do it again today. Again, this is a really good McNeese team that's not going to let you take it in their house. You're going to have to actually go and work for it, and I was really proud of the effort that we showed.
You mentioned to us yesterday about how you guys viewed that last game with McNeese. It left a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth, but you viewed it more as a scrimmage than anything. How was that? What was the biggest difference in your eyes from that game to this game?
Yeah, I think offensively we had added a couple wrinkles that we thought we could take advantage of on the offensive end. And I think, kids always play better defense when they're scoring the ball. So, again, we're not turning it over and we're at least getting shots up. I allowed our defense to be really good. And I thought, now looking at the numbers, but we out-rebounded McNeese. And we got smoked on the glass in those first 2 games. So, again, there was a really emphasis on taking care of the ball and winning the possession battle. They got 6 more shots than us, but, again, we made 6 more threes than them. So, again, we'll take it how we can get it.
41-22. I'd say you out rebounded. I'd say you flipped that switch.
No doubt. I'm glad we did. Again, I wanted it to be close. I didn't know we were going to win it that much. We talked about the possession battle at our place. We lost the game in overtime, and I think they got 29 more shots than we did. I said, guys, our offense is too good. If we can keep this possession battle close, we're going to have a really good chance to be champions, and they did a good job of that.
Talk to us about Micah Perry. She was tremendous in the second half. She has 15 points. She comes out with 10 of your first 11, I think it was, there in the third quarter. What'd you see from her?
Yeah, that kid has just been growing and growing all season long. Again, she took 2 years off after being at Florida. And so, again, you got to kind of knock the rust off. And then, obviously, we get to the big stage. And, again, she acts like she's ready for this. And so, again, really proud of that kid. She is the most quiet kid you're ever going to be around. Quiet as a church mouse. But, again, on the floor, her game speaks volumes. And so, really proud of her for stepping through when the lights were the brightest.
Coach, you do a great job of making adjustments. Is there a specific time in this matchup where you could really feel the tide of momentum going in your favor?
Yeah, I felt like in the third quarter when we really got things going in the third, I was like, okay, we're switching the defenses back and forth. We're switching the offenses. I thought I did a bad job in the second quarter. I thought the first quarter we got off to a good start, but then I got stagnant in our offense. I started calling the same play over and over and over again. And once you play a good team like this, they're going to load up and they're going to blitz all of that stuff. So then I started mixing up some of the things that we called to allow our team to get in the flow. We got some layups. We got some free throws, and I thought that allowed us to settle in. And like I said, we play better defense when we're scoring the ball.
Yeah, that's the old saying, though. You play your best when your best is required. I thought in the third quarter, you got hot. You made some shots. Did you have any new wrinkles to your offense coming into this finals?
Yeah, we added 3 new plays for McNeese. And that's kind of hard for a group to add plays with one-day preparation. And that's why I'm crediting my group. Again, we added 3 new plays, and I thought that if we didn't score on those plays, it at least got us good looks. And so, again, I'm just proud of this group for, standing the test and coming away with a victory.
Coach, did you know you're a fiery guy?
I've heard that before. I've heard that a couple times.
The girl said that might be the understatement of the year.
It is the understatement of the year. I think I'm a competitive guy, and the competitive fire comes out at the right time, and that's what we talked about. I said, we're firemen, and we control the flames. We move them where we want to, and at the right time we'll extinguish them. And so hopefully you see some of that fire coming out of me.
Coach, you had a great crowd on hand. Obviously the band, that's one of the first places you go after every game. Talk to us a little bit about what these guys have meant to you all year.
Yeah, SFA is, Nacogdoches is a small-knit community. Again, and we, every sport supports each other. Every, the band, the cheer, everybody supports each other. And so they've been here all year long. They're supportive. They're saying, go Coach Bishop in the hotel. They're pumping me up. Dance team is over there playing with my daughter. Again, it's a small-knit community, but it's a ton of love in that purple. And so, again, everybody means a lot to me, from, the athletic director and the president all the way down to our managers. Again, like I said, everybody, it was all hands on deck to get this one today.
Coach, congratulations. Best of luck in the NCAA tournament. Enjoy this.
Can I say something?
You sure can.
All right, really quickly. The other day I said I was in between red and blue.
Yep.
Right? What happens when you combine those? Purple, baby. Yeah. Let's go. Axe 'em Jacks.
Congrats, Coach.
There was always going to be a punchline to end it. There was always.
That was a good one.
There was always going to be a punchline to end it. Again, Stephen F. Austin, they are off to the NCAA tournament. 71-59, they get the win. And look, he talked about it. One of the biggest moments of this game was the glass. And we've talked about it. They completely blasted McNeese on the glass, including 12 offensive rebounds. That just felt like the biggest change in this game.
It was, and we talked about which team would be able to handle their business on the glass. That in this afternoon, it ended up being SFA. They did a great job. Like Coach said, that was their emphasis, and he had a lot of players that stepped up and really hounded in on being dominant on the boards.
Rebounding. To get an extra rebound is to get you an extra possession.
Yep.
I thought they did a good – if they emphasized that, it showed today. But You play McNeese again down the road. It may be a different story, but today it was their day. I watched good basketball this week. We did.
We did.
Yeah, and so, there's always that agony of defeat and the thrill of victory.
Yep.
And unfortunately, McNeese fell short, but this team felt that irony of getting that win, that special feeling. You can hear it in the background.
Coach, you talked about adding a new play, 3 new plays in 1 day's notice. How tough is that to do, and then to come out here and execute?
It is tough because your kids, some of them still hadn't learned the plays from the first week, So to add some new wrinkles, and most coaches do that, he has to trust his personnel. And the personnel's got to feel good about those plays. But I think once they scored a couple of times, it gave them a little bit of momentum throughout the game, and he felt good about calling those plays.
And it's also just a testament to how locked in your players are. He talked
That's
about
a
it.
good point.
Ashland Traylor Walker spoke on it as well, how they had to buy in, and they were willing to buy in to Coach Bishop and his program. And like you mentioned, a one-day turnaround, adding in a new play, that also shows a lot of basketball IQ between his players.
3 games in 3 days. Stephen F. Austin gets the win, 71-59. Back-to-back Southland Conference champions. Something Coach Bishop said yesterday that's kind of sat with me is he said, and they asked him about, do you give any advice to Coach Matt Brower on the men's side? He said, look, I'm still trying to build the plane. I'm still trying to fly the plane. I can't give advice to anybody. That's kind of stuck with me because he is right. He is still building this plane, but he's still flying it, and he's doing a hell of a job at it as well. He is one of the best. We talk about the coaches a lot. That is one of the best coaches in this league, and he's done a tremendous job continuing to build it. I think he's built it, Coach.
Yeah, to go to NCAA tournament 2 years straight. Yeah, I would say he's built it.
I think he's built it.
Yeah, I agree.
The foundation is set.
Yeah.
If he can continue to build it, boy, it could some good stuff is in the horizon for Stephen F. Austin, huh?
And him.
Yeah,
because
right.
he's one of the hot names in college basketball now.
You're right.
Go back 2 years in a row. There's some people taking notice.
I think you might be right. Look, let's talk about Stephen F. Austin as a whole. I mean, look, their men are here yesterday.
Yeah.
They fight. They had a great year. They get the number 1 seed. And then their women, they're here and they win. They're back-to-back champions. Just what they've been able to do on that athletic department has been really impressive.
It has been, but it goes back to the leadership, the culture. Starting from scratch, I mean, Coach is one of the bright minds in women's college basketball, and he's done a tremendous job. But I think if you get your players to buy in, that day one, when you have that first meeting, you tell them the expectation, and if you got good leaders, they're going to try to make sure everybody follows suit.
All right, y'all, it's been a great week. I've had a lot of fun. Maybe we'll get to do it again in a year.
Right. That
Sounds
would be amazing.
good.
All right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Stephen F. Austin is off to the championship game. We are going back to the media room with Coach Leonard Bishop and a couple of the players. See y'all.
All right, we're good.
All right, Coach, when you're ready, we'll get started with the opening statement.
Back to back, baby. Extremely excited to come back to Lake Charles and get a win and win the conference tournament. Really proud of my group. I know y'all probably get tired of me saying I'm proud of them, but I really am. We were tested throughout this entire tournament. We walked through the fire every single game that we needed to. We were able to come out victorious. Again, we made the timely plays when we needed to. We kept our focus. We kept our poise, and we really gelled together throughout this tournament. So really proud of us and excited to see what holds the next for us for sure.
Open it up for questions. Coach, what did you learn 10 days ago that you were able to use today?
Yeah, again, I told them it was a scrimmage 10 days ago. We just need to kind of get prepared for the next time we were in that situation. And so we added a couple offensive wrinkles that I thought freed us up. And again, just, we made the right plays at the right time. We didn't allow them to get easy points in transition. We talked about rebounds equal rings. They smoked us the first 2 times we played them on the glass, and then we were able to win that, and they smoked us in the possession battle. We always talk about our offense is so potent that if we can keep the possessions close, then we have a really good shot. I think at our place they shot 29 more shots than we did, so it's really going to be hard to beat a talented team when they're getting more shots than you do. So again, in this game, they only had 6 more shots than we did. So again, we know if we can keep that close, we have a really good chance at coming out victorious.
Coach, once you got the lead, you kind of stayed there a little, and you didn't let them back in. How important was that to just not let them narrow the gap more?
Yeah, I think that, again, they cut it a couple times really close and hit some really big shots that gave them momentum, but there was no waver in our kids' faces. You could see it in their eyes. They wanted it. And then we came right back and made the right plays at the right time. And so, again, she made a really big layup. I know she hit a really big 3 kind of to seal it late. So, again, I thought our poise under pressure was really, really important today, and they showed that.
Again, number 3 seed, just like last year. Like, what is it about the number 3 seed for y'all that you just seem to be successful with?
Well, yeah, I mean, Coach Yang can give you this, but he's a numerology guy. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it was the power of 3. We shoot a lot of threes. I think we have 3 seniors. This is my 3rd year as head coach. It's our 3rd straight tournament championship appearance. He had all these threes lined up. He was like, Coach, this one's for us. So, again, I was really proud of the way we were able to come away victorious today.
Beat her on what was going to be her home floor last year. You beat her on her home floor this year, both times as the number 1 seed. What does that say? Is it you just win the big games against her?
Again, Coach Ayla does a great job. And again, I'm not taking anything away from McNeese. They were prepared. They're a really good team, and they'll continue to be a really good team as long as she's the head coach. I just thought my team was ready to make the right plays at the right time. I'm not taking anything away from McNeese. They were really good today. I just thought my team was just a little bit better at the right times.
Players, how much confidence were you able to draw from the fans here tonight, from SFA fans?
They were our 6th player out there for sure. We could feel their energy, and that was really important for us to get this win. So we appreciate everybody who came to support us today.
Yeah, I mean, the support has been amazing, nothing short of amazing, really. Even, at home, bringing the fans here it's really good for us. It's like another stepping stone, so it feels really good to have that push.
Mike, to talk about that 2-year break you took from basketball and come back and win MVP your first year back.
I don't even really know how to feel yet. I'm still processing, but it feels good just to be back on the court and just to feel the passion and love that I've felt my whole life for the game again. So.
For Dominguez, was there a time tonight where you're just like, I don't want to shoot anything but a rebound?
Honestly, I know that, me being aggressive offensively is really, really important. Bishop and Yang, they give me the utmost confidence in shooting threes. Lamar last night, obviously, we could talk about that, but to be able to come in and have coaches that still have the confidence in you to shoot, of course, I mean, at all times I want to shoot a 3. Who wouldn't? If that, threes are better than 2s, but, they came at the right time when we needed it the most, so it felt great.
Yeah, Coach, and throughout this tournament, first time you guys went into half with the lead, what was the message to the girls in the locker room during halftime?
Yeah, it was just a couple of adjustments, really. I thought we were playing well. We had 20, I just told them 20 more minutes to a championship and you slide a ring on your finger. So stay poised, keep rebounding the way we were because we were ahead on the rebounding glass. And then we just talked about some defensive things that we saw and some offensive things that we saw. We had 15 turnovers at halftime. I was like, that's not killing us. It's the live ball turnovers when they're getting steals that were allowing them to get leak out layups and easy shots in transition. I said, if we could be in our shell defense, whether that's man or zone, I think we have a really good shot to keep them in front and then also rebound. So it was just, stay the course, stay the game plan, and go out here and get it. Again, they don't give you championships. You got to go take those, and we went out there and took it today. So really proud of them.
Coach, does it take off any pressure knowing you're not the number 1 seed at home? Because it seems like it would be easy to fall under pressure if you're in McNeese's spot.
No, I would much rather have to win one game to get to the championship and save bodies. We were cherry tart juice, cryotherapy, massages, therapy, recovery. We were having to do everything just to make sure we could keep their bodies together. We were holding them together with super glue and duct tape all year. So again, really proud of them.
Coach, yesterday was Trailer Walker. Today Ms. Dominguez comes up super big on offense. What is it about this team where one person just keeps on rising?
Mhm.
Maybe it's not just one person.
Well, and that's the sacrifice you have to take when you put on purple. A lot of these kids could go be first team all conference on other teams, but we sacrifice to share the ball. And so we know on any given night, anybody on our team can go for 20, and that's from 1 to 9 on our roster. Somebody can go off, and so we share the ball. And when you're hot, we keep feeding you, and when you're not, you share on other people and you work to get them open. So really proud of them for buying into the vision of SFA Lady Jack basketball, and I want to just see what we can continue to do.
I guess I have just one more. It's back-to-back years. What are you building here at SFA?
Hopefully something special. Again, to our recruits, again, this is why you come to SFA, is to play for championships, to go to the NCAA tournament and go to the big dance. That's what I told both of these two, and she's doing it for the second time, and she's doing it for the first. So, again, I want these kids to understand that, you have to sacrifice. Off the court, you have to sacrifice, and on the court, but it feels good when you're winning and when you're, taking confetti showers at the end of the year.
Anything else?
Yeah. Axe 'em Jacks.
Axe them.
Is a confetti shower better than an ice bath or whatever y'all were having to do?
You know what? I'll tell you, that crowd therapy ain't for the weak, but it's for we go in there with intention of recovering. So, yeah, we love a confetti shower.
Why'd you answer that?
I'd much rather have a confetti shower than ever step foot in a cryo chamber again, but it was worth it.
Yes.
There you go. You got to step into the cryo so you can get that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They buy into that. Again, they do a lot of stuff off the court to go out there and play the way they do.
We'll wrap it up there. Coach Players, congratulations.
Thank you.
Axe 'em.
Axe them.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.